Hello there. Welcome to EBCV Extreme. I'm gonna read National Geographic Kids That's Sneaky. I guess this is the first one. When did this book come out? Trying to see when this book came out. Hold on a minute. Okay. Okay, and I guess in order, to read this book, we gotta start with meeting the host. Meet your sneaky host. Meet your sneaky host. Psst. You want to hear a secret? How about a few hundred of them? Maybe a mustache grooming tip to boot. You've come to the right place. Welcome to That's Sneaky. A collection of classified facts and cases, a cunning hosted by yours truly, Secret Agent Stash. You see, we got the other mustache. Oh, wait a minute, what that's supposed to show? What makes me the perfect MC for everything sneaky? Well, aside from my magnificent mustache, I spent the past 2 decades deep uncovered as an agent for PSSST, the professional sleuths of super secret truths. That's funny. We got that sleuth for as a word. You'd be amazed at the stuff people say when they see my trustworthy lip whiskers. Yeah, lip whiskers. Secrets were my stock in trade until the PSSST's top brass instituted a strict ban on facial hair. The nerd of those baby-faced desk jockeys. Now I'm a rogue agent. I'm liking this so far, this story of the sneaky host. Ready to tell all, but only to you, prepared to meet supreme sneaks to both the human and wildlife varieties, including a crowd that creates its own costumes, food stylists who fashion phony feasts, and escape plotting prisoners who build a glider right under the noses of their captors. You'll find ninja warriors and con artists, dashing spies and masters of the skies. Funny money and phony photography, magicians' tricks, and the secrets behind movie magic trapdoors and trapdoor spiders. You'll learn how to run on your own spy network, communicate in code, and detect scams. And hidden advertising. By the time you close the book on that sneaky, you'll practically be a member of the PSSST yourself, and you don't even need to know the secret handshake or abide by their ridiculous regulations regarding facial hair. So, Also, before we get into this, we're gonna have to learn some terminology, or you're gonna have to if you're a kid. Well, some of them I know. Some of them. Some of them I don't know. You know, the ones I know on here as the terminology, by the way. Okay, hold on a minute. Let's see it. Well, of course, we know what espionage is. It's the act of spying or gathering information on another person or country in secret, which is also a crime, by the way. So they don't want to do that. And then a spy is a person who gathers information from another government or organization in secret. Cipher is a code for replacing or rearranging letters to create secret messages. Yep. Cipher. Let's go to the one that intrigued me the most, the advertising. I'm trying to find it. And they even got a sneaky meter that I'm going to have to rate it. A slightly shifty, solidly stealthy, definitely devious, supremely sneaky. Okay. Apparently on here, there's a thing called subliminal advertising. And then one of the subliminal advertisements is Baskin Robbins. You remember them, right? I haven't ate there, but I've heard of them. But anyway, Baskin Robbins logo serves two purposes. It showcases the name of the ice cream and it advertises its 31 flavor. Can you spot the number? Yes, I can spot the number. See, it says, here, I'll show you. See, can you spot the number 31 and then the Baskin Robbins? Here, I'll show you again. Look closely. See, that's a subliminal message. Now, I kind of think that's a good thing to do. You know, you would think that'd be a good thing to do. Put, you know, advertise they got 31 flavors and advertise your name for the restaurant. Now we're gonna have to play a song. I just don't know which song we're gonna play. I guess we're gonna play some song. We're gonna have to. This song is by Tyler Childers. Or Childers, I think it's Tyler Childers.
Nose of the grindstone. Daddy worked like a mule mining Pike County coal. He fucked up his back, couldn't work anymore. He said one of these days you'll get out of these hills. Keep your nose on the grindstone and out of the pills. See, the ways of this world just bring you to tears. Keep the Lord in your heart and you'll have nothing to fear. Live the best that you can and don't lie and don't steal. Keep your nose on the grindstone and out of the pill.
Nose on the grindstone.
Well, Daddy, I've been trying, I just can't catch a break. There's too much in this world I can't seem to shake. But I remember your words, Lord, that bring me chill. Keep your nose on the grindstone and out of the pills.
Talk.
Keep in mind that a man's just as good as his word.
Yeah.
It takes twice as long to build bridges you burn. And there's hurt you can cause, time alone cannot heal. Keep your nose on the grindstone and out of the pills. Well, Daddy, I've been trying, I just can't catch a break. There's too much in this world I can't seem to shake. But I remember your words, Lord, they bring me to chills. Keep your nose on the grindstone and out of the pills. Keep your nose on the grindstone.
And there was Nose on the Grindstone by Tyler Childers and Our Vinyl. Yeah.
It's August today, so we ordered from Taco Bell's Continue Chicken Wings. The slow Western chicken is unmatched, and the best part is it's not going anywhere.
These guys look familiar.
Always the best part. This is really good. Make sure you guys go try the Continue Chicken Tacos.
But today, it's not about my page. It is about every other YouTuber. Because on this video, I reached out to every single one of them. They actually told me their favorite recipe on their
Yeah.
And today, we are trying them all. Enough talking, let's go. And we're going to start off with my friend, Nick DeGiovanni. This book is called The Knife Drop. And here's Nick.
Luca, funny story. I'm sending you this video with no shirt on because I'm rushing to get to the airport to go to Italy. My favorite recipe for my cookbook is gnocchi. Speaking of Italy, I love it because it's a gnocchi experience that most people have never had before. Most of the time, it gets pretty rubbery, chewy, gummy. This gnocchi is light and fluffy, but you still give it that nice sear at the end, so you have a nice crust on it, and it has that texture, that crunch. So I'm gonna go first.
Let's see whose birthday it is today. Oh, wait a minute.
Once that's done, you want to throw them in a bowl together with some flour and eggs. Mix everything together and combine it. Add flour as needed to create a dough. Once that's done, you want to go ahead and shape them. Of course, we can shape them right. These are the best for you. Then you want to run them through some flour.
Happy birthday, Lily.
It's quite simple. You know they're fully cooked when they start floating on the top. But once that's done, you want to heat up some pan with olive oil and immediately start to fry them up. Like Nick says,
And that was Van Archdalen, Lily, or Lily, I forget it, or Lily May, was on one from when I used to go to high schools, and it's her birthday, Faith Gaylor. Happy birthday.
Okay. It is nice and soft, but also crispy at the same time.
I can't even beat up.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can't beat up at all.
I like it, Nick. Good job. It's a thumbs up for me, man. You guys like it?
Oh yeah, thumbs up for me too.
Right. Can we all agree? No more salt, please?
Yeah, please. Come on.
Next up, if you love history, you came across this guy. Max has cooked some
Max.
on this channel, everybody, and inspired so many people to try things that you would never think about before.
You mean this? Yeah, that same Max Miller. At least he's not that one that helped that one Britney Spears music video. Actually, he's cool too. But if I remember right, I think his name was Mark Miller. Let me look at that. He was the one that done or produced Hit Me Baby One More Time. Here, I'll show you. Hit Me. Here, I'll show you. Or Baby One More Time. Oh, with Max Martin. Sorry, but that's Max Miller on there. Yeah, Max Martin. Sorry that I got that wrong. But that's Max Miller. So there you go. And Max Martin was also the songwriter. Funny thing is, in 2021, the song Baby One More Time by Britney Spears was ranked number 205 on the list of the Rolling Stone 500 greatest songs of all time. Damn. I'm gonna put that on there. You know, and here's the funny thing, people. Normally, I know Britney Spears doesn't look good anymore, but or that doesn't feel right, or doesn't seem right anymore. If you look at Britney Spears, you're gonna see what the hell happened. Just saying, you know. That's what you're gonna say, people. If you see a modern day picture of Britney Spears, you're gonna say, what the fuck happened? I tell you what the fuck happened. She grew up. That's what happened.
Cookbook with over 65 of my historic recipes, but my favorite is the
Hate to say it, you know. Maybe she shouldn't have started when she was a child actor, I think. Actress, sorry. Maybe that's what the problem is. Hold on, let me see. You know what, though?
by wine, some celery leaves, salt, and black pepper. Now mix it up real good, and I immediately threw in all of my chicken. You want to make sure that the chicken is fully covered with this marinade. This is where a lot of the flavor will come from, but we're not done yet. First, some carrot seeds, and rub that throughout the chicken. Next, this ingredient.
Remember,
I just combined it with some water.
this people.
So onto a cooling rack, I placed all of my chicken. Then I added a generous amount of the asafoetida mix. This makes the chicken taste so good. I don't know how to explain it, but you'll find out shortly. Because into a 350 degrees oven it goes. In the end, the chicken is now fully cooked. The only thing I have to do is to clean it up. As once that was done, I saved a little bit of the marinade that was previously made before adding the chicken. Just make sure to add a generous amount of it. And to finish it off, some black pepper. Now that is really tasty history. But with all these unique ingredients, is it as good as it looks? First, give it a smell, because as soon as I smelled it, it was very, very interesting. Is that what we're going with?
God.
Sebastian, what was that?
Oh no, this is not a very pleasant smell for a chicken.
Cheers.
Oh, shit.
I think I'm
It tastes a lot better. You smell?
It's okay.
Uh,
Not at all what it tastes like.
No, not at all. And it's like
Yesterday, I did exercise, but it was mostly for 15 minutes. I know it wasn't a long time, but I was stretching on this floor over here because I can't walk around that much outside.
But the big question is, which recipe
Don't worry.
from the book?
Hey Guga, this is my book. You suck at cooking.
I think I need shit.
Whoops, let's just
A lot.
back. My book has phenomenal recipes.
E.
My gas station charcuterie.
I need a shit. Maybe. Sort of. I don't know.
Is my spicy peanut butter soup.
Who the hell
So
knows?
good, I want to lick the page right now. So I'd love to see
Oh, you want to look the page, huh?
peanut butter and non-sandwich.
Yesterday I was talking to, one of my former teachers, which I like, okay? Why would I talk to a former teacher I don't like? You see what I'm saying?
Brown sugar, black pepper, salt, and chili oil. Now mix everything together.
I said Mr. Hensley, which he also goes by Steve Hensley. But I call him Mr. Hensley for respect, okay? Okay, you see what I'm saying? Because he's Mr. Hensley to me, okay? And he gave me a thumbs up and then a waving high emoji like this, you know. And I said, how are you doing? I am at Ponderosa and Wheelersburg, Ohio. And he said, I'm good, Bailey. I'm okay.
So good, I already read it. Wow.
Shit.
That was awesome.
Is it good?
I might have the nicest mustache I've ever seen. Yes.
First of all, I was going to get sick right
So,
there.
Hank, everybody.
It's called Salt Hank 5 napkin situation. Google
Good thing I didn't.
on me dip. This is seriously one of my favorite recipes from the book. I'm excited to see what you
And I said, yes, it is good, but I am full. Or I was yesterday. And he said, don't overeat or you'll get a stomach ache. And then I said, okay, and that was the last thing I put. Maybe I shouldn't have just put okay, because then that means, I don't know, maybe I should have said, I don't know. I don't know what I should have said more on the lines of, you know, okay, I will try my best, and actually I will do my best the next time not to get a stomach ache. Maybe that should have been what I said instead of just okay. Because when I say it like that, when I text it like that, it just doesn't seem right to me. You know, now I need to stretch again. I meant today, it'd be my first stretching exercise. Whether it's not long or not. You know what, like I said the other day, I still can't get over that one dream I had where I said, in my dream, the words that I remember was it could be worse. Yeah, it could be worse. That's the only lines I remember from that one dream I had, and I don't know why I said it, but I think it was either mad at someone or just trying to tell me it could be worse. I don't know. I cannot remember. Last night I dreamed about, what was it, that vampire from Fright Night, but we killed the vampire. Good. We killed him somehow. I don't know how in the world we killed him in this way, because normally in the movie Friday Night we killed him with the sun, okay, right, if I remember right. But this time it was different. Instead of, like, I don't know, killing him with the sun as well, and he kind of looked different. He kind of looked like a hippie instead of the other vampire from Friday Night. He kind of looked like if Jimi Hendrix and the vampire had a baby. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but he looked like Jimi Hendrix without a guitar, and he also looked like an alcoholic. He might actually, I don't know what the hell he was, but he looked like a vampire. Now, I'm not the one to judge, but I think it turned out he was a vampire, so vampires, I guess should die. Because, well, number one, if you remember, vampires can't come out in the daytime, so guess what we're going to do, people? If you find me a vampire, we're going to put him out in the daylight and kill him, or her. Because that's how we're going to get them, in the daytime. Trust me. I know that's saying a lot on here, and I know vampires don't exist, but let's just say that they did exist, okay? The only way they could have existed at one time was through tuberculosis, which at one time was a death sentence for most people a long time ago, because, well, or a death disease, something like that. And now these days, well, tuberculosis is still bad, but at least they found some vaccine for it or something. Tuberculosis is not good. Makes you as pale as a vampire. Yeah, that's why they thought those people were vampires, because they turned pale, which is not good. That's not a good sign, Vampires. If we're being really, really, really honest, I think the werewolf is the way to go, but still, that's also a curse, but at least you can come out you can't come out of the wolf and the werewolf in the daytime, but at least you can, I don't know, I'm not going to say it. I'm trying to find some other news for you, not just from National Geographic Kids, even though that's from the spy book, as I like the subliminal advertising, subliminal stuff. Here's my subliminal I wouldn't say subliminal message. This is interesting. Let me go back. Go back. That's interesting. Netflix is bringing Hollywood vibes to New Jersey, but the last time that happened, New Jersey wanted more and more and more money, though. But that was like like over a century ago, if I remember. That's why they went to Hollywood. Stupid asses. Don't they realize New Jersey's also expensive with that? I think, if I remember right. But anyway, it says, sorry that I'm talking over this video, but it says Netflix will build a $930 million mega studio in New Jersey. I want to see if this is true. Let me look at Netflix news, on the news. Just to verify, you know. Netflix Studio. I don't see it yet. Netflix Studios. Okay, 5 days ago, the new NJ.com posted Netflix gets green light for first phase of huge NJ mega studio. Okay, there we go. Kind of weird that they're building in New Jersey, because a long time ago, New Jersey and New York, you know, wanted to be the film capital, but then of course they messed that up, and then Hollywood became that. I mean, at least here in the United States. And then it became Georgia too. Maybe it might happen for New Jersey, but I don't see it happening that quick though. See, Netflix has money. So if you say it starts buffering again, just remember they have money and they may be greedy, but still they need to fix that buffering. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna share that now. Back to the video, and I shared not to the live video, not yet. Yeah, dog. Wolf. The bark. Sunday for dogs. That doesn't sound right.
And I don't want to give them any unappetizing kibble. I want them to eat something that is good for them, and I will actually not be afraid of eating it myself. Sundays for dogs is the perfect food for them. It is entirely
one time I ate dog food by accident. I thought it was one of those combos. You see, I thought it was those combo snacks. You know what I'm talking about, right? Right, people? If you don't know what I'm talking about, the pretzel with the pizza flavoring in them. Yeah, I thought it was those, and then I ate one and I was like, what the hell? I mean, at the time I couldn't really cuss because I was a kid, but then I wanted to say what the hell or fuck, but I couldn't say either of those, so I had to spit it back out because it was so disgusting. So I guess he does have a point at those dog food not being good for humans. And if it's not good for humans, it shouldn't be good for your doggies. If I remember right. I feed to your doggies. Good thing there's that company now where you can actually eat dog food now, or try to eat dog. I wouldn't recommend it, but I wouldn't recommend eating dog food if you're a human. And also imagine this, people.
Keep it under medium heat. Then once you got a nice color in the veggies, go ahead and throw the picanha back in. Stir and combine all the ingredients together. And then you want to add in some Worcestershire sauce, followed by beef broth. Now go ahead and cover it up and keep it under low heat. You want to let it simmer for at least 1 hour. As in the end, check it out. This is what you're left with. To finish it up, you want to add some cornstarch slurry and mix everything together. As in the end, you're going to be left with a nice rich feeling. But we're not done yet. As now you want to throw it into a pint crust.
I remember when the day they eat.
Some puff pastry, cut out the excess. Make sure to cut the dough so it does not puff.
Never mind. I remember when the day they eat, what can I go back to TV 14 or even go to TVMA on Netflix, and then, I mean, I'm not totally mad about that, because even with their TV PG rating, they say a lot of suggestive stuff and do violence and maybe minuscule amounts of blood now. So, just remember that, people. If you watch the Day They Eat programming, that I think you already got good enough program, even though TV PG. Now, they may change their mind time and time again. But remember, they gotta cater to the advertisers. Like, for an example, Mars Incorporated, or the chocolate people, the Mars chocolate people. Even though you would think the Mars chocolate people wouldn't care, because, well, it's chocolate, and chocolate's an aphrodisiac, you know. And even though I don't think their chocolate's an aphrodisiac, I think it's the dark chocolate that's an aphrodisiac. Well, you get the point. But anyway, but yet the other sponsor, Slim Jim, I don't think really cares. Hell, I don't think Slim Jim, even if Slim Jim CEO or whoever owns Slim Jim, you know, I don't think they care about your consent either. So there's that, you know, because Slim Jim, you know, I know that's a bad thing about Slim Jim, but that's just my opinion. Slim Jim is like beef jerky for people that want the stick beef jerky. I want the beef jerky that's real beef jerky. I mean, like the Jack Links inside. That's what I want. You know, feed my wild side with that Bigfoot, or Mothman, or Bigfoot, or Yeti.
We went without a health plan for a long time.
You know what, and then try to, actually I can't do that, but because it's West Virginia, and plus it's still illegal, I was gonna say then get a hold of marijuana, but I can't do that. And plus, marijuana's not, even though they say it hasn't killed people, I'm pretty sure it has at some point killed someone. Because why would they have banned it? I mean, maybe if you smoked it, maybe it might irritate your lung to the point where it could kill you. That's why you're not supposed to smoke it, you see. You're supposed to eat it, I think.
Is the one on the cover: skirt steak, caramelized onions, Gruyere cheese, garlic aioli on a nice toasted baguette. I would love to see your take on it.
Your take on it. That looks interesting. Billy Bob Tanley wouldn't say that, because he would say on the lines of, oh, that's something so dirty on there, that white stuff, that jizz or whatever. It's not jizz, unless if you want it to be jizz. I don't know what his deal with white stuff is, and then calling it jizz, but I mean, I like Billy Bob Tanley, but, you know, sometimes it's like he goes overboard with that statement, you know, with this guy. I mean, there are some videos that this guy has made that I won't watch, like that poisonous fish video that he did. And yes, I'm trying to find another. I'm trying to find y'all a restaurant that, you know, I know you would like, but it's not around here, so I'm going to suggest it to you, no matter what y'all say. I need to find a restaurant like this, but of course it's not around here, I don't think. Other than maybe Steak and Shake could be similar to it. But this is not Steak and Shake, it's Friendly's. I'm trying to find the nearest location of Friendly's. Of course it's not giving me not giving me any around, which is not around here, but I wish it was. Because if it was, I think it would compete with Steak and Shake, if we were being honest. I mean, I know they're in Maryland, or Maryland. That's interesting. Find multiple ones in Maryland.
I've learned a lot from him, and his book is called The Walk. When I reached out to Kenji, he really wanted me to sweat.
Okay, Friendly's, Glen Barney, Maryland. There you have it. Now I'm going to show you a menu item that I think you should get at Friendly's, maybe. I don't know. And that is actually their desserts, okay? Because that's what they're known for. Let's go to their sundaes, please.
And that's because all we're trying to do is to infuse the flavor of the Sichuan into the oil. Once that's done, you want to add some ginger and garlic and cook that up. Then you want to add the cinnamon stick, followed by star anise and a few chili peppers. Stir it and cook everything.
Wait, what?
Then you want to add some sesame.
You mean to tell me I missed out on this?
Sugar and white vinegar. Now stir everything together.
I mean, it doesn't sound good to some of you, probably.
Chicken stock. Go ahead and bring the whole thing to a simmer.
Oh, there's the kids' desserts, but then the one of them I still want to try, but I'm not a kid anymore. That's the Monster Mash Sundae. That's funny. Monster Mash Sundae. But I can't have that because that's on the kids' menu. Apparently.
I'm using slices of picanha. Once everything is nicely coated, you want to let it marinate for at least 30 minutes. As next, into the bowl, you want to throw in some cornstarch, followed by all-purpose flour, baking powder, and salt. Mix that up real good, and it's time to grind the beef. That is pretty simple, as you already know. Because once that's done, make sure to remove any of the excess. As you want to go ahead and deep fry the whole thing, making sure to get a nice, beautiful crust. As you want this thing to be nice and crispy. Once everything is fully fried, go ahead and toss it into the sauce.
I thought Wesley Stover would join this. At first, I got up at 5 something and then went back to sleep for a little while. By the way,
It's a little bit sweet, a little bit spicy, got some salt to it. With all that flavor there, I can taste that citrus.
by the way, if you dream about vampires, here's what you need to do. Don't dream about vampires because it's scary.
YouTuber that I'm a huge fan of. I hope to meet him someday, hopefully soon, because he does not live in the U.S. I'm talking about Endong. Obviously, I haven't met him yet, but I was looking forward to find out his favorite recipe from this book.
Hey Guga, this is Andong, and I have a little bit of a special request for you. I've been a huge
A long time ago.
For many years at this point, I learned a lot, and there's something I've always been wondering about, which is, what would Guga think of a German-style chicken döner kebab? It is the quintessential food of my hometown, Berlin. That one has got to be my favorite for, mostly nostalgic reasons. So, with that said, I would say the challenge is on. Just do me one favor, please. Don't call it doner, it's called döner.
So the first thing we need for this recipe is our chicken thighs. As you can see, these are boneless. So then I went ahead and threw them into a bowl, followed by mayo, paprika, chili flakes, garlic powder, salt, sugar, thyme, basil, marjoram, and rosemary.
So, Foodbeast uploaded this, and it's like a meme. Normally, a long time ago, that's what they used to do, too. Now they're back to doing that. They're saying beef Wellington. It's just a corn dog from a different socioeconomic background. Yeah. Yep, you missed it, Wesley. Yep.
tomatoes, red onions, cucumbers, a tiny bit of cabbage, and of course,
I don't know what else.
all the vegetables.
You missed the part where that's weird. It's showing up on the computer, but not on the phone. But I can see the comment on the computer. Yeah, I can see the comments on the computer now. But anyway, I found out that Black Sheep Burrito and Brewed in Huntington was closing. And I got this book right here. And this book, even though it's by National Geographic Kids, you see, that's weird that the comments aren't showing up on the phone, but it shows up on the computer. That's weird. That is so weird. Again. But then again, I may have to clear the cache or whatever again, so I don't know. Like you told me to. I need to do that after that. What, the Charleston location closed next? Yeah. Well, but then again, here's the problem. I don't think I would have liked anything from their menu, from my knowledge. And there need to be more downtown Charleston restaurants, to be honest. Local ones, that is. I do agree. And also, back to me. Also earlier, I found out something from one of these books, but I gotta find it though again. And I'm gonna show you what I found. They said that the Baskin-Robbins logo served two purposes. It showcases the name of the ice cream and advertises 31 flavors. And then they said, can you spot the number? Well, it's right in the logo. Really good. Yeah, we need an Uno again, especially at the Huntington one, you know. Thanks for noticing my haircut. See, do you notice the 31 and the Baskin-Robbins? Let me know. But anyway, thanks for noticing my haircut. Yeah, I got it about a few days ago, though. And, the thing is, I didn't want to look like Stone Cold. I'm at the mustache and beard part of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't want to look like the bald part of him, you know, either. You know, after seeing what that one beard of his, you know, I'm trying to think here what else we need to do. I noticed that logo. I never noticed that in the logo until now. Yeah, I didn't notice it until I think I sort of did, but it's just odd that, you know, that is from, let me find it again. That's Sneaky, and National Geographic Kids, That Sneaky book. It's this book right here, if you're wondering. You went to Ollie's. Yep. Even though I don't really like Ollie's, but now that I think about it, maybe I'll change my tune, maybe. At least that Ollie's, you know, was in Portsmouth, Ohio, and not anywhere else. And good thing they had those books, and they were cheaper. Think about that for a moment. They're cheaper at Ollie's because, you know, the Mountain Dew cookbook is on the TikTok shop is on sale. Huh, that's weird. I sold it's a new Mountain Dew cookbook. That's weird. Is a new, well, I mean, I don't want to buy another cookbook. I'm done buying cookbooks if I'm not going to use them. You know, that's weird that, you know, it's on TikTok. It's the same that you saw, okay. That's weird. Trying to find. Oh, this one I think wasn't out. Yeah, this one was an interesting video because you'll find out why.
Every time that I'm dealing with a client,
Skip.
Drunk, and they performed a snake dance.
I gotta go back just a little bit. This one's about the egg.
Homemade eggnog, you've got to try it. It is so much better than anything that you can buy at the store. It's so good that in 1826, when it was taken away from the cadets at West...
You know, I like my eggnog just regular, not spiked, okay? You know,
They made their own...
to my knowledge, I just like regular, non-alcoholic
So I'll be making
eggnog.
a 19th century recipe for eggnog to see just what all the fuss was about. So thank you to ButcherBox for sponsoring this video as we make eggnog.
ButcherBox, huh?
This time on Drinking History. So I made eggnog way back when I first started the channel, and I talked about the history of the drink in that video. But I left out any mention of the eggnog riot. And since I wanted to tell this story, I figured I would do a new recipe for eggnog, new old recipe for eggnog, specifically the recipe that I have in the Tasting History Cookbook, which makes an excellent holiday gift. This recipe is based on one from the 1887 edition of the White House Cookbook, eggnog. Beat the yolks of 12 eggs very light, stir in as much white sugar as they will dissolve, pour in gradually 1 glass of brandy to cook the egg, 1 glass of old whiskey, 1 grated nutmeg, and 3 pints of rich milk. Beat the whites to a froth and stir in last. Nice and simple, but also nice and boozy. This recipe is not specific in how much alcohol to add.
It's weird that Wesley said it was the same one that I sold.
And they add a lot, so if you don't want as much, then you can cut back the quantities that I'm going to give you. But for this recipe, what you'll need is 3/4 of a cup or 150 grams of granulated sugar, 1 quart or 1 liter of whole milk, 2 cups or 475 milliliters of heavy cream, 1.5 cups or 350 milliliters of brandy, 1.5 cups or 350 milliliters of rye whiskey, a whole nutmeg or 2 or 3 teaspoons of ground nutmeg, and a dozen medium or 10 large eggs divided into yolks and whites. So when I was testing this recipe for the cookbook a few years ago, I used egg whites. But they're uncooked egg whites, and since then I've become oddly allergic to uncooked egg whites. So I'm going to be using aquafaba today. That literally means bean water, and it's made from the viscous liquid, or it just is the viscous liquid that you get from cooked chickpeas. The thing is, they act and taste pretty much just like egg whites, especially once they're whipped. So I doubt I'll notice the difference, but I guess I'll see when I taste it. I'm really glad I'm not allergic to egg yolks because there isn't a great substitute for those. I'm also glad I'm not allergic to meat, specifically the wonderful meats that were sent to me from today's sponsor, ButcherBox. ButcherBox is a monthly subscription service that delivers top quality proteins like grass-fed beef, free-range chicken, and wild-caught seafood right to your door. And they have all sorts of cuts, so you can...
Which is also expensive.
Like, I ordered some beef sirloin tips, one of my favorite meats because it's so succulent and tender, and yet oddly difficult to find where I live. I guess it's very popular in New England, but not here. But they're great for an easy and quick dinner. It's just steak, onion, garlic butter, you're done. And the meat from ButcherBox is sustainably sourced, and the subscriptions are really flexible. You can skip or even pause and order absolutely no problem. And when they are delivered, it's always with free shipping. And right now, when you use my code TASTINGHISTORY, new users will get $20 off of their first box, plus a full year of free premium steaks in each box. Your choice of New York strip steak, ribeye, or filet mignon for free for a full year. So just click the link in the description and use my code TASTINGHISTORY to get yourself some free steak. Steak that will hopefully go well with eggnog. I think anything will go well with eggnog, but I guess we'll see. So first, beat the yolks until they are a pale yellow, and then as you continue beating, add about 1/3 of the sugar, then beat it until it's incorporated, then add another 1/3 and beat, and finally that last 1/3 of sugar and beat. And if you want, you can continue adding sugar just until it doesn't dissolve anymore. You want it nice and thick so it leaves a ribbon pattern when it drizzles from the whisk. Once you've added all your sugar, slowly pour in the brandy, all while beating the eggs, then add in the whiskey in the same way, and then stir in the milk, and finally the heavy cream. Then you're going to add the nutmeg, and you're going to stir it, but it's not really going to dissolve. Just keep stirring to at least incorporate it, even if it doesn't all dissolve. Then it's time to whisk your egg whites, or in my case, the aquafaba. But what's crazy is they act pretty much the same way. So whisk them up until you have a nice soft peak, and then add about a third of them and gently fold them into the eggnog until everything is nice and smooth. Then repeat this with the next third and the next. And that's your nog, pretty much. You actually can drink it right now, but it is going to be much better if you leave it in a cool place like a refrigerator for at least 4 hours, but preferably for 2 or 3 days. One, that is going to let the alcohol kind of mellow. It's also going to let the flavors develop, leaving you with an eggnog worthy of rioting. Which, my dear viewer, brings us to the eggnog riot of 1826.
My name is Brayden. I was 5 years old when I came to St. Jude. I'll try short.
It was the night before Christmas, and all through West Point, all the students were wasted, about to tear up the joint. Though actually the story of the eggnog riot starts not at Christmas, but on the 4th of July in 1825. See, at the United States Military Academy in West Point, New York, alcohol was strictly prohibited to the cadets. But Superintendent Colonel Sylvanus Thayer, who was notoriously strict, did allow the privilege of a holiday tipple on the 4th of July and on Christmas Eve, the latter being in the form of eggnog. But being a bunch of college students, on the 4th of July in 1825, one drink turned into many drinks, and everybody got drunk, and they performed a snake dance, whatever that is, but it culminated in them taking the commandant of the school and putting him on their shoulders and carrying him off somewhere. It got Thayer pretty angry, because that's not how West Point cadets should behave, and so he decided no more alcohol, either at the 4th of July or at Christmas. Well, when you tell a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds that they can't have something, they are going to be bound and determined to have exactly that thing. And the nearest place to procure liquor, chiefly whiskey, were 2 nearby taverns, the North Tavern and Benny Havens. Now, these places were strictly off-limits to cadets, but that never really stopped them from going, just meant that they couldn't get caught being there. There was one student who was caught. He was actually the first student to be arrested for going to Benny Havens. And then he was almost caught again in August of 1826, but he was warned that an officer was on his way, so he left in the dark, drunk, and fell down a 60-foot ravine. He spent 4 months in the hospital. And that cadet was none other than Jefferson Davis, future president of the Confederate States of America. And what did he do almost as soon as he did get out of the hospital? Well, he started to help smuggle in liquor to make a Christmas eggnog. So in the days leading up to Christmas Eve, Davis and a bunch of his friends started sneaking in little bits of alcohol here and there. They had some wine, they had some brandy, at least 1 gallon of rum, another gallon of decent whiskey, and 2 gallons of cheap whiskey, though actually the cheap whiskey ended up not being so cheap because they had to cross the Hudson to get it, and when they came back, there was a private who was guarding the docks who was going to rat him out, so they had to bribe him with 35 cents to keep his mouth shut. They also started stealing little bits of food and sneaking it in from the kitchens so they wouldn't be drinking on an empty stomach, which just seems sensible, and they even got a big piece of mutton from Benny Havens when they realized that he was going to charge them way too much for the whiskey. Now, when the party started around midnight on Christmas Eve, it was a pretty small affair. It was 9 students in one room, room 28 of the North Barracks. As it happens with all college-age parties, it started to grow and expand into the halls and everything, and by 2 a.m., they were getting a little bit loud. So one of the students is like, everybody, quiet down, you're going to wake the officers. And they did get quiet, but as it happens, they started to get louder and louder again, and at 4 o'clock they were so loud that they woke up Captain Ethan Allen Hitchcock, who was in his room on the ground floor. Now the thing is, both Hitchcock and even Thayer knew that the cadets were sneaking in alcohol. They thought they were real sneaky, but it was pretty obvious what they were doing. But they kind of thought, all right, we'll let it slide, we'll look the other way, it can't get crazy. But when Hitchcock was woken up at 4 a.m., he's like, no, absolutely not. So he goes upstairs, and one of the first rooms he checks is 28, and there are a bunch of students in there who are drunk. A couple of them are even passed out. And he's like, you guys, you have to go to bed. This is done. Go to bed. And supposedly they do, so he thinks he's all good. And so he goes back downstairs, goes back to bed. A few minutes later, he gets a knock at the door. Gets up out of bed, goes to check the door. There's nobody there. Okay, goes back to bed, falls asleep, hears another knock at the door, gets back up, opens the door, there's nobody there. This happens a third time, and he's like, all right, clearly it's a ding-dong ditch. So this time he shuts the door, but waits near the door, and when somebody knocks again, he opens the door just in time to see a bunch of students hooping and hollering, running down the hall, and now he's pissed. So he storms upstairs, and he finds a room with 13 cadets who are clearly wasted, and he says, hand over the liquor, and they refuse to do so, and so he reads them the riot act. Well, just then, Jefferson Davis busts into the room, and he's like, everybody put the alcohol away, Old Hitch is coming, only to realize that Old Hitch was already there. So now Hitchcock puts all of them under arrest, and by under arrest, I mean, he tells them once again to go to bed because what is he going to do? He can't really arrest them all. Says go to bed, and some of them do. Actually, Jefferson Davis goes back to his dorm, supposedly gets sick and passes out, so he's not involved in anything after this point. Well, Captain Hitchcock thinks that everything is kind of handled, and so he goes back down, and he thinks this is the end. But it was only the beginning. See,
a ding to your credit? I don't want a ding. So when I needed a new credit card, I went to Experian.
Who clearly couldn't handle his liquor was said to have gathered a bunch of the other cadets and said, get your dirks and bayonets and pistols if you have them. Before this night is over, Hitchcock will be dead. Well, now the riot has truly begun, and at 5 a.m., another officer, Lieutenant William Thornton, is awoken by the beating of a drum because some of the drunk students had taken a drum from one of the cadets who was on sentry duty. The drum was there to, like, alert people to danger. They took it, and they're just walking around banging on a drum. So he gets up and goes to the dormitory only to be accosted by a cadet with a sword. And now you've got a bunch of cadets, dozens of them, running around with swords, and some of them have pistols and bayonets. Everything is falling apart. They're breaking windows, especially in Hitchcock's room, though he's not actually in the room because he's still trying to get these kids to go to sleep. So Hitchcock finds a room that he knows a bunch of cadets are in because he can hear them because they're all drunk, but they have barricaded the door shut. So he's kicking at it and finally kicks it open, only to have one of the cadets raise a pistol and shoot it. And luckily, another cadet knocked his arm before he did it, and so the bullet didn't hit Hitchcock. It hit the door jamb right next to him. But at this point, Captain Hitchcock's like, yeah, I'm done, and I'm going to get help. The gun also brought the attention of Lieutenant Thornton, who had just left the student with the sword, and so he's running to where he heard the gunfire, only to be accosted by yet another cadet, this one wielding a log of some sort, and he hits Thornton and knocks him out unconscious. By now, Hitchcock has left the dormitory, and he comes up to the cadet who was on sentry duty, the one who had lost his drum, and says, go fetch the comm. The comm being Commandant William Worth. But some nearby drunk cadets thought he said, fetch the bomb, meaning the bombardiers. And so what do you do when you think that a bunch of artillerymen are going to come accost you? Well, you head back to your dorm, and you brace for impact. That's exactly what they did. They went back and started knocking out windows and taking furniture and pushing it up against the doors. They tore off the banister of the stairway, really making this place a fort for an attack that absolutely was never coming. Well, at this point, Hitchcock is like, I don't know what to do, and so he didn't really do anything for a little while, and he didn't need to because he knew what a bunch of college-age students who were drunk were going to do as soon as the sun started to come up, which it was. They were going to pass out, and that's pretty much what happened. They all just kind of stopped. And finally, Commodore Worth comes, and he's like, I don't really know what to do either, but the sun's coming up, so let's call the bugler and have him do roll call. And so the bugle plays, and most of the students, even those who were involved in the riot, come out. They were like trained to do so, so they come out and line up on the lawn for roll call. And that was pretty much the end of the riot. And what's crazy is the rest of the day just went on as normal. They didn't really address it. Even Colonel Thayer was like, I don't know what to do, because there were so many students involved. There were about 90 involved, which was like a third of the school. What exactly do we do? And finally, after a few days, they realized that the most offensive students, about 20 of them, I think 19 of them actually, would be expelled. And some of these who were expelled included future governor of Mississippi, future generals of the Confederacy, even a future Supreme Court justice, though he wasn't actually expelled because he talked his way out of it before it happened. And many of those who were expelled were actually invited back the next year. Now, Jefferson Davis didn't have to face any repercussions because he passed out before the real rioting began, and there was another famous cadet who wasn't involved at all, but he was there at the time, and that was Robert E. Lee, who was said to have been kind of a nerd and wouldn't have gotten involved in something like this, but he did get involved in a rebellion some years later. But all in all, that was the end of the eggnog riot, at least. And so I think that it's time to try our riot-worthy eggnog. So once it's had time to sit, ladle a bit into a glass, top it with some fresh nutmeg, and here we are. Homemade eggnog from 1887. So mine's been sitting for a day, and you can see the froth stays. It just floats to the top, still really frothy. It did this with the egg whites, and it did this with the aquafaba. Cheers. Oh, that is good. That is boozy. It is boozy. You could add less. You could add more. If you wait a few days, it does mellow, I promise. But the flavor is this rich and creamy, nutmeggy flavor. The texture is wonderful. You can also serve it warm. I like it cold, but you can serve it warm. You can also switch the alcohols. Put some rum in there or whatever you want. You can also add some other spices if you want. They're not traditional at this time, but some cinnamon or cardamom, delicious. So this is definitely worth making this holiday season. It's not that hard. You can also make a smaller batch if you want. Just cut everything in half. It will make quite a bit, but it's worth making. And yeah, I'll see you next time on Drinking History.
We flipped the switch. Literally. The ghost pepper cheese switch. Come into Penn Station today, pick your favorite sub, and add our limited time ghost pepper cheese, and light it up. TikTok.